I want to know what the customer cares about the most, what they're trying to accomplish with regard to my area of the business, right? So what are their most important outcome objectives? Short term, long range. And I also want to expand that. What are the overall or overarching objectives with respect to the business? Because they have objectives too. So when the customer's growth objectives become my objectives, and I can easily demonstrate how I can support them getting closer to where they want to go, then we're on the road to partnership. So that's what makes me relevant. I'm only relevant to the degree that I can help a customer accelerate their opportunity, get them closer to where they want to go, or solve the biggest problems. So that otherwise, it's meaningless. The customer doesn't care about me. They care about their growth objectives and their customers and their teams and their quarter and their earnings and their discount competition and their barriers to entry in new markets. I rank way at the bottom. I'm only relevant to the degree that I can help them accelerate those opportunities or solve those problems. That's it. The more I know, the better equipped I am to do that. I want to get into the heart and mind of the buyer and understand what's most important to them, because my job as a seller is to simply help them accomplish their most important objectives. So I really need to understand what their hopes, dreams, vision is for the business, what their objectives are, what they're focused on, what they see as potential threats and challenges. That requires some time, effort, energy, investment, homework, and it requires tremendous skill with questions. So the more prepared I am, the closer I can get to the customer in a conversation. Technology has evolved two things. One, it's given us a vehicle to get a lot more information before we step into the room, but at the same result, the expectations that you're going to be prepared when you show up are much, much higher. So you better do your homework today. Nothing's more offensive to me than if I get on the phone with a seller and they haven't done their homework. And they haven't researched my business, they haven't learned about what we do, they don't understand our category, competition, marketplace. That's baseline entry-level expectation. And I'll get real specific about this. I'll give you an example. We're calling on Tiffany & Company, the retail jeweler, 18 months ago. And of course, there's a lot of information online. I can look at all their marketing, I can watch all the commercials, I can read articles from the CEO, we can do a business briefing on that. All useful and relevant. And we do all of that, and that's important. But that's what our competition does, right? So now we're all at the baseline, we have the same level of information. But what I did was a little different. I got on a plane, I flew to Dallas because the Tiffany's in Dallas is their highest revenue generating store. And I walked into the store and I told two sales clerks that I'd fallen in love. And I wanted to buy a diamond. And I wanted them to walk me through the Tiffany's process and experience of buying an engagement ring. What made Tiffany's different? Why should I buy a ring there versus the other two places that I'm gonna investigate as soon as I walk out this door? Convince me that it's worth the money. And that 3.5 hours in that store completely informed the way I needed to talk to the customer and help them make a business decision. That's preparation, that's different, and that's how you win sales. The customer experience starts with the sales experience. That's the first touch point a customer is going to have with the solutions provider organization. So, the sales experience sets the foundation for the relationship and the expectations. And bottom line, around preparation, getting closer to the customer, way too many salespeople are showing up underprepared. And that's one of the biggest complaints that corporate or professional buyers have today, is that the salespeople don't know enough. They haven't done their homework. And as a result, only 1 out of 4 B2B professional sellers are granted a second appointment inside those prospective organizations. So preparation and expertise, those are the gateway to entry and ultimately delivering a sales experience that sets the table for a deeper relationship or a partnership. Pro tip alert specifically for sales leaders, right? Fewer, higher quality calls is a much better way to approach the marketplace than a high number of calls where the sales professional hasn't done their homework or isn't prepared for impact, period. So my philosophy is this. I manage a sales organization, lead a sales organization based on results. So I'm a results-oriented sales leader. This is the objective. Here's some process discipline and a roadmap to get there. And then I'll work with sellers to move them toward their target. In the absence of result, then activity gets a very thorough inspection. But I've relaxed on this idea of a high number of outbound calls in an effort to make more customized, personalized calls where we're highly prepared for impact. I think that's the future of selling, and it's consistent with what customers expect today and how they want to buy. I think to get inside the heart and mind of a customer, I think one of the best places where you can research customers and how they make buying decisions is your existing customer portfolio. It's amazing to me how many salespeople don't know why their customers really buy and what kind of experience they're having. So you've got this existing sample of real-time research. So sit down with a few customers and ask them, when you were at the inflection point of making a decision, why did you choose us and why didn't you choose the competition? How do you feel about that decision today? What else could we be doing to support you better as a customer? You'll get so much robust intelligence. We try and have 5 or 6 of those conversations at the end of every year with some of our best customers. Why did you buy? Did it meet your expectations? What surprised you? What disappointed you? What could we do differently? That informs both go-to-market strategy and customer retention strategy. So it's a great place to do research. I think people are stopping short on their education of developing this real deep awareness and robust knowledge of the impact they're having in their customer universe, where their challenges are, where their opportunities are. I think referral and relationship selling is still so relevant today. You have a customer in a certain category or discipline that had a certain experience. Connect them to the prospective buyer. Mix them all up. Be able to own and tell that story in a deep and meaningful way. I think one of the most powerful phrases a seller can say is, "I understand how you feel. One of my customers was standing right where you are at this inflection point 9 months ago, and they made a choice. And I'd love for you to learn more about how they made their decision and where they are today as a result of the choice they made." That's gold.